What's going on, guys? We're back again with another guide video, and this time I'm going to show you guys what a maxed out monk class looks like. More outward videos available on this channel, so please subscribe. And if you guys like rock or metal music, make sure to check out my band, and vice versa, all the way from Bangkok, Thailand. Links will be below. Okay, let's get into the good stuff. So the monk trainer can be found in the city of Monsoon, which is in the marshlands, and it's going to take, give or take, around 2,000 silver, just like every other class, to max out. The monk focuses on melee abilities and giving you some useful status effects. And if you like countering attacks, then this is the class for you. So let's take a look at the skill tree, and I'll show you guys what each skill does and what it looks like in and outside of combat. So if you just watched my philosopher guide video, then you'll already have heard the two skills that I'm about to talk about. So in the monk tree, the bottom two skills right here are called Focus and Brace, and both of these skills grant you a status effect called the Discipline Boon. So the Discipline Boon, basically when you gain the Discipline Boon, you have it on your character for a limited amount of time, and during that time you're now able to cast other additional skills that require the Discipline Boon. So the theory behind it, I guess, is during that time that you have the Discipline Boon, your character's more focused or disciplined in the moment, so he can now start to do more superhero-like abilities. Okay, so the first skill in the tree in the bottom left is called Focus. It's a really simple, straightforward skill, and it's probably the easiest way to gain the Discipline Boon. So it doesn't cost any mana or stamina, and you can cast it in or outside of combat, so it's really convenient and really easy to use. However, when you use it, it does drain some of your max stamina, so if you continuously use this skill to gain the Discipline Boon, you just got to make sure you have some teas on you or things that can up your stamina while you're out, because it will drain over time. It's not too much, it's about like 4 points on my guy right now when I use it, but over time it'll add out if you're out farming for like a couple hours. So I'll read the focus description for you. It grants a Discipline Boon, which increases the physical damage of your attacks. Using this skill burns a bit of your maximum stamina until the next time you sleep. Certain skills require this boon to be active. So the cooldown on this is actually 500 seconds, which is more than 8 minutes. So if you're looking to gain the Discipline Boon, it will give you the Discipline Boon for 4 minutes, but then you have to wait another 4 minutes in order to be able to cast Focus again. But there are other skills, and you can also take Discipline Potions as well. Definitely the easiest skill to cast because you can just use it before you engage in combat. So here's what the Focus skill looks like when you cast it. So the next skill that you can cast in order to gain the Discipline Boon is called Brace. Now, this is a great skill, however, it's a little bit harder to do than Focus because you have to be in combat and you have to successfully activate the skill while an incoming attack is about to hit you. You're basically blocking an attack with Brace. And upon blocking, you're now going to gain the Discipline Boon for 4 minutes, just like Focus. The cooldown is only 200 seconds though, so you'll be able to use this more continuously. So the description reads, blocks an attack, restoring your stability and giving you the Discipline Boon. All nearby enemies are knocked back. So it's also nice when you have guys on you and you need to knock them back as well as gain the Discipline Boon. So here's what Brace looks like outside of combat. And here's an example of me using Brace against an enemy and blocking his attack. Okay, so the next skill on the tree is a passive skill called Slow Metabolism. It takes more time for you to become hungry, thirsty, and sleepy, so that's pretty straightforward. And I believe it only costs 50 silver. I think all three of these bottom skills cost 50 silver. So even if you're not going to spec out a maxed monk tree, you should still go ahead and get Slow Metabolism when you're in the city of Monsoon, because you don't have to go past the breakthrough point, and it's just convenient to not have to drink or eat as much when you're out in the wild. Okay, so now we're at the middle of the tree, and this skill is the skill that has the chain through it, so it does require one of your 3 breakthrough points to get, and it will unlock the skills above it. It's a passive skill called STEADFAST ASCETIC, and it increases your maximum stamina by 40, so that's pretty straightforward as well, nothing to really show off. If you are a physical character, meaning you don't use as much magic, then this is going to be huge. So if you can accompany this class along with like a rogue or a hunter or something, then monk will go really well with those because you'll get this 40 maximum stamina increase. Okay, now we're on to the cooler skills on the top of the tree. The top skills both cost 600 silver, and if I didn't mention, the middle skill costs 500 just like every other class. So first of all, you get a choice between two skills right here. One of them is called Perfect Strike, and one of them is called Master of Motion. So I'll talk about Perfect Strike first because so far the video is kind of boring because I've been talking about passive skills and skills that don't really have cool animations. So we'll show off Perfect Strike first. So Perfect Strike costs 10 stamina and has a 30-second cooldown. This is a great skill to start off a fight or just to charge in at another enemy when you're fighting. So it's basically like a big leap. You don't leap, you kind of slide across the ground and stab at the enemy. It does require the Discipline Boon, which you can get, like I said, from Focus or Brace. And it also requires any melee weapon, so you can pretty much use any weapon that you want with this skill. It's a lunging attack that ignores all defenses and also inflicts the pain effect. So when you do Perfect Strike on an enemy, they basically can't defend it. So it's a great skill to get in there and get some damage, and also inflict the negative status effect of pain on your target. So here's an example of Perfect Strike outside of combat. And here's a couple examples of Perfect Strike while in combat. Here goes Perfect Strike. So if you don't purchase Perfect Strike, then you're obviously going to be purchasing the Master of Motion, which is a passive skill effect. So it reads, while under the effect of the Discipline Boon, impact resistance and all damage resistances are increased by 15. So when you cast Focus or Brace or drink a Discipline Boon potion, then you get the buff from the Master of Motion. And all of your resistances, no matter what elemental effect it has, go up. So you're going to be able to take more damage, and it also reduces the effect of the impact bar on your character when somebody tries to hit you through a block. So this is a good skill. If you're going more tank-like, this one might be a nice one to grab. Okay, so now we're at the final top two skills, and unfortunately you have to choose one of these as well. You can't get them both. And when you're first looking at the tree, they both look pretty cool. Flash Onslaught actually looks super cool. However, I want to say thanks to one of my friends, Mazmoo, for sending me some footage of Flash Onslaught because I purchased Counter-Strike under his recommendations, because he said that he prefers Counter-Strike because it is a good combo to do with Perfect Strike. Flash Onslaught can be useful too, it depends on how you want to play, but I was recommended Counter-Strike, so I went with Counter-Strike. So Counter-Strike requires any melee weapon, once again, just like the Perfect Strike. It's going to consume 12 stamina, and it has a 100-second cooldown. So not too bad of a cooldown. So this is also an attack like Brace, where you have to deflect an incoming attack, so you have to time it right. But it's very powerful, and it's kind of got a cool animation and a cool sound. The description reads, completely block a physical attack, striking the attacker and dealing high damage. So this skill is going to do a lot of damage compared to the other skills lower on the tree, and it's fun to do. It's always fun to try to get your timing right when an incoming attack is coming. So here's an example of counter outside of combat, and it makes a pretty cool sound when you do it. And here's counter in combat. Okay, so if you don't go with counter, then the other skill that you're going to choose is going to be Flash Onslaught, and it does look super cool in the icon right here. So this skill costs 25 stamina and has a cooldown of 240 seconds. So this attack does do damage to multiple enemies in front of you, so if you like having that AoE kind of damage, then this one might be one that you'd want to consider. Flash Onslaught reads as, requires any melee weapon and also requires the Discipline Boon. Attack on all enemies within a close distance with increased damage and impact. Using the skill consumes the Discipline Boon. So that's one of the negative things about it, is if you are doing a lot of skills that require the Discipline Boon, like myself, one of my other classes on this character is also Philosopher, and I need the Discipline Boon up to do a lot of the Chakram skills. So if I were to use Flash Onslaught, my Discipline Boon would go away, and I don't really want to deal with that, so that's why I went with counter. So this skill costs 600, just like the other four top ones. Now I'm going to use an example from my friend Mazmoo. This is him using Flash Onslaught. So that's basically it for the monk class. It goes very well with a lot of other classes in the game. I see a lot of magic users doing the monk class as one of the three, and I see a lot of physical damage type players also doing the monk class. It's got some great passives, and it's got some great counterattacks, and counterattacks are always great to have for any class that you're playing. Okay, so now I'm going to show you guys a combo that you can do. And basically, if you go ahead and you purchase Perfect Strike and you also get counter, you're going to have a really good combo opportunity here to start off a fight with Perfect Strike, which lunges you forward into the enemy, and then the enemy usually attacks right away after you lunge forward, so you have a great opportunity just to go right into a counter strike. And if it's a non-boss enemy, you're going to take them down very far, depending on what weapon you have, but it does do a lot of damage combining both of these together. Okay, so I'm going to show you guys a clip of the Perfect Strike combined with the counter attack. So for that clip, I also had my friend Mazmu send me in some footage because his guy just looks cooler than mine. Thanks for watching, guys. More videos are coming out soon, so please subscribe, and I hope you guys have fun with the monk class.